back to Darvanalee Designs Studio. For those that don't know, my name's Nicole Reed and this is Dee Dee's Saturday in the Studio with Nicole. Alright, so last week I was working on some patchwork. This week I have been playing around in the garden and I've been doing some harvesting of some lavender, and that has been drying out pretty much since last Saturday or Sunday when I picked it. So I am going to be making a few different things with it. The first thing that I'm going to be making is some bath salts because I've run out. So I thought, well, I'll jump on and make some bath salts with you guys and talk a little bit about what's been going on in the studio, what's coming up, and also what has come in the mail because I've had some haul come in. So yeah, I haven't finished that block yet. As such, as you would have noticed, I've had a lot of videos going up, so it's been super busy. But I will be getting back to it sometime during the week. I've got a few things on this week, but I'm sure I will get some time to get that started. So, all right. I have taken some footage out in the backyard of the lavender that I'm picking and all the rest of it. Now, a lot of the questions, I did post it up in the group earlier on. Some of the questions I've got is what variety that I'm using. I'm actually using the... it is a French variety, so it is a little bit different than some that you see. Most gardens have the English variety in it, but mine is actually a French lavender. I actually prefer the French lavender over the English. Smells very similar. I find the scent in the French is just a tiny little bit more subtle, I think. It is. Maybe just my nose. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway. Alright, so as you can see, I am in the studio now, but I'm going to cut to the video of me picking the lavender and what I'm going to do with it. I have all this lavender and it's getting time to pretty much harvest it. As you can see, it's quite a large plant that I've got. There's a funny story behind this lavender plant. I purchased this from a nursery and basically it came in like these plastic sleeves with soil, and it was quite root bound, ready to be dug into the soil. I come home and basically plop them down right here. There was 2 bundles of them and I got super busy and had to get to work and all the rest of it, and I just never got back to it, and they took root in the roots broke through the plastic and into the ground. These have actually never been dug into the ground. They just basically took hold, and they were small and they were up against the house. And it's not where I wanted to plant them at all, but as you can see, it is grown immensely, and there's lots of, the cats have been in here just recently and jumped in there, but you can see there's lots of new little buds growing up at the back as well, and then we've got all these here, there's new buds there. So what I was thinking is doing is harvesting it. I'm going to dry it out, and then I'm going to make some crafts with my lavender that I've harvested from the garden. So I'm going to keep some aside for make some lavender ice cream, and yeah, just try a few different things and see what we come up with. One of the things that I do want to make is essential oils, so I'm learning how to do that. Once I know how to do that, I will share that with you, and you can make some too. So I'm super excited. They're just so plump, like you can see how plump. Now, this poor plant does not get watered. It is just naturally grown. It doesn't get fertilized. I know that sounds terrible, but you can see there are bees flying all around it. My next door neighbour is actually a beekeeper, so that's really good. So you can see little bees there floating around. As I said, the cats have been in there and had a field day in the last couple of days, so I want to get in before they destroy it. They love laying in there. They get all sleepy. They absolutely love it. But yeah, it's just... you can see there's just so many beautiful buds that I have on here, so I don't want it to go to waste. I've never really done anything with it before, like little Mia, my granddaughter, she comes here and every time she's here she'll pick a little bundle and she'll take it to bed with her. You know, just look at that flower there, like it's so healthy, and it's very sticky too, so it is a good time to harvest it as well. So yeah, she loves picking them and putting little bundles, and I'll find little bundles of them. She'll wrap a little elastic around them and she'll leave them all through the house for me and all the rest of it. When I'm sewing, she brings them out as well. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do today. That's pretty much what's going to happen. It's all going to get harvested and yeah, and then dried out for a couple of weeks, and yeah, hopefully I can make some beautiful essential oils and all the rest of it. So yeah, you can hear my cat in the background there going row row. But I'm really happy. Like, there's lots of bees all over it. There's a few ladybugs as well, but not bad for a plant that is pretty much neglected and just takes care of itself. Like, look at the size of that bud there. That flower bud there is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. So hopefully you'll enjoy what I've got in store with the lavender. All right, I'll see you soon. Okay, so you can see here that I've picked a lot of the larger buds that I had on the plant, because there's a lot of new regrowth on it, as you could see just previously. But now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bundle these up into small posies. And so that's just a clump of flowers together. I'm going to tie them up, and then I'll hang them up so they can dry, and then I will be able to turn them into something useful. So even though they're beautiful in the garden and they do attract bees, I'd like to actually use some this year. I've had this plant for close on 8 years now, and I've never really done anything except just pick the flowers and have little posies throughout the house and whatnot with little M. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to actually creating something a little bit different. Like, this bud's huge and it's got little flowers all the way down. Most of these are just starting to get to the point where they should be picked. Like, they probably should have been picked a couple of weeks ago, where they would have been a little bit fuller. So you can see here, I accidentally snipped this one's a new bud. So you can see there it's got lots of little flowers on it. Okay, so that's how some of these bigger ones were as well. So you can see this one here, this one's still got some flowers all over it, so you can see there. So it's going to be awesome to be able to pick these. I'm actually really looking forward to it, to make something with it. So yeah, beautiful flowers, beautiful, beautiful flowers. Okay, so I have my cuppa here ready to go. I've got my jar that I'm going to use. The things that we're going to use today is Epsom salt and rock salt for the bath, with a little bit of essential lavender oil as well as the lavender posies. So as you would have seen, I picked a lot of lavender and I've turned it into a heap of posies. These have been drying for quite some time, for about a week now. They still have a slight stickiness to them, which is good, because that's the oils coming down into the heads of the flowers, and that's what we want it to do. So as you can see, I have quite a number of posies here, and I've still got the string on them where I'm hanging them upside down. So that's how I dry them out, and I just hang them in my studio, and I'll tell you, my studio smells absolutely divine. So I just hang them by the string using some the trusty Wonder Clips. Now I'm only going to be using one posy today for the bath salts, because I'm just making a small jar of it, and I just sort of make it up to go. This will probably last me maybe 2 months, maybe a bit less, depends. Yeah, but I just usually chuck about 1/4 of a cup of bath salts into my bath, and then I just relax at the end of the week and wash the week away and wash the troubles. So these posies will get used for a couple of drawer satchels, so I will dry them right out until and then put them in a little organza bag, and the smell will go through my drawers. And I'm also going to make some steeped oil with it, so I will have a carrier oil such as sweet almond or jojoba oil, and I will soak the flower heads in that for about a week to 2 weeks, and basically that carrier oil will draw that oil out. So As I do these things, I'll just film it and then you'll be able to get to see it. Some of it might be a shorts, or it may end up being a little bit of a lengthier process. So basically these have all got to dry out a little bit more, but today I can actually make my bath salts because I do actually like the flowers to be a little less dry when it goes into my bath salts, because the salt will draw the moisture out of the flower head and put it into the salt and the Epsom salts, which then in turn will go into my bath water. All right, so I'm just going to get rid of these other ones and put them aside for a second. And yeah, so now all we're going to do is just take the elastic band. And if you've never dried lavender before, all you need to do is get an elastic band, get them all sitting as even as possible, wrap the elastic band around it, and then I just use a little bit of macrame twine and I tighten that around it and then hang them upside down. And I'll insert a picture here. You can see them just hanging in my studio. All right, so I've removed that off and I just leave the flowers in here, and then all I'm going to do is just strip the heads off of the little flowers. Now, I don't care if they come off in little pieces or little chunks because they are for bath salts, so it doesn't really matter. And you see they come off a lot easier if you go the opposite way to the stem, so coming down the stem, and then you can just pick that top bud off. So we just keep doing that. It's a beautiful day here in Kingaroy today. It's nice and warm. It's feeling very spring-like. The birds are chirping. I can hear some baby birds as well. The little willy wagtails live in the trees near my house, and so they get quite noisy around this time of year. So you can see there, I'm just pulling them off, and they're just going to be little chunks of flowers. And as I said, the nature of the salt will draw the moisture out of these. So that's why I like them still a little bit damp when I do my bath salts. A lot of people don't, they'll dry them right out. I just prefer to have that essential oil and smell come out into the salt, and it'll get drawn out from that. So, and it can sort of send it a little bit clumpy, so you just shake your jar before you use it. And as I said, I use about 1/4 cup and for each bath. If you've got a very large bath, then you probably use maybe half a cup. All right. So how has everybody been? I noticed that a few people commented under the video last week, and I said that I would get to the questions. So one of the questions was, how do I fit everything in? I don't know. To be honest, I just I have a schedule and it's over yonder. It's a whiteboard, and basically I have everything that I've got to do on it, tutorials and all that sort of stuff. All my filming schedule is on that, and then I generally do filming first thing in the morning because that's when I'm most alert, so to speak. I'm more productive in the morning than I am in the afternoon. As the day winds down, I tend to wind down as well, and I like to cross stitch in the afternoons. So, but I do schedule the heck out of my life. And I do have to fit other people in. It's got a little bit easier of late because Neroli has given up dancing and little Em has gone back to live with her mum. So that gives me a good couple of hours every afternoon free. So I've been getting a little bit more stitching in that time, and also a little bit more planning. But I do schedule the heck out of my life. Quilting, I sort of just fit in where I can fit it in these days. I haven't been doing a great deal of quilting. One, because no one could get to my house for a few weeks because of the road. And two, I've just really needed a break from quilting. I've been doing quilting non-stop. And when I say quilting, not patchworking, I'm talking about being at the actual machine. I have been doing that for 10 years now, and pretty much every day. Not so much in the last few months. I've sort of just had a bit of a break from it, so yeah. But I think I just needed it. I'm very big on listening to my body. When I'm tired, and I shouldn't, I shouldn't work, because what happens is I end up with more problems than anything else. So I just find it easier to listen to my body and do what I need to do. And that's sort of how I fit it all in. My family's very understanding. Sometimes they can be a little bit begrudging, but for the most part, they're pretty understanding. Alright, just get rid of those stems. I don't use the stems. Some people chop up the stems in their into their bath salts. I don't. But now all I'm going to do is just break up these flowers. Now you can see there, these flowers still have a purple hue to them, which I really like. I wish you could smell this because it absolutely smells divine. Now, even though I've got the natural flowers going into the bath salt, I am going to add a little bit of extra pure essential oils into this. So this is an essential oil. It's pure. And it's just a little lavender. It's Australian owned, aromatics, gum leaf essentials. And it's pure. I use that quite a bit because it's readily available here in my local area, which is really good. Alright, so basically all I'm doing now is I'm just breaking up these flower heads a little bit more. If I nod off, you know why. It's because of the lavender. But as you can see from that footage, my bush is quite large, and even with all that I've picked off it, I still haven't made a dent in it. So there's still enough there for the bees and everything like that, and it is just a hive of bees at the moment. Excuse me. Alright, so basically all I'm going to do now is I'm going to add about a cup of rock salt, and this is just your standard everyday rock salt. It's about a cup. Pop that over the side, and then I'll start to mix that through. And then I thought I had an open box of Epsom salts, but I think I must have used it. So I always have this in my cupboard to use in my bath, even if it's not got any essential oils or anything like that. I still like to put it in. Alright, so, and it's been sitting for a while, so it's not going to open up too well for me today. These boxes. So hard. I'll put this into a separate container on its own. Alright, and I put about a cup of this in as well. Oh, a little bit more than a cup. It's alright. And then I'm just going to mix that all through. And I'll add some more rock salt to that. And that should be enough to fill out a little jar here. So the Epsom salts really soften the water too, so I like to have, usually what I do is I usually put a quarter of a cup of Epsom salts in every bath that I have, and it just helps with aches and pains and all that sort of stuff. Alright, can't see those little flowers right now. But when they go into the bath, they'll, obviously the Epsom salts won't be on it. And you'll see the little purple flowers. Alright, so that's about 10 drops that I've put in there of that. And then I'm just going to mix that up. And that's really intensified that lavender smell. Alright. So that's it. That's how simple it is. You just do a quick mix and then we just put that into the jar, and I have that in my bathroom, and then basically anytime I have a bath I just put, as I said, if it's a small bath you just put about a quarter of a cup, and my bath is only small, so I just put a quarter of a cup in, and for a larger bath I'd probably go half a cup. I tried to find my scoop, but I couldn't find my scoop anywhere. Alright. So the other questions I had too was about an overlocker. Do I think they're worth it? Now, I don't make many clothes and don't have an incidence to actually use an overlocker, but I have used them in the past for when I have made clothing, and they're brilliant. I can't see why you wouldn't have an overlocker. They save you time. They finish off your clothing really well. They have many different benefits to having one. So I would definitely look at having one, Vicky. So it was Vicky that asked the question, and yeah, so I would definitely have one. I have one here and I have used it in the past, especially for finishing off stuff, and I have found that I'm actually using it a bit more now that I'm doing cross stitch and using linens and stuff like that, so I can go around the outside, and I can do that on my sewing machine, but it is a lot quicker on the overlocker, and I just change the colour thread and use whatever I've got going. So I'm just looking for a rag, which I had here, and now I seem to have misplaced it. Right, tissues it is. So I've been super busy and trying to get everything done, and made a bit of a bigger mess of things in the studio. So I'm going to be spending the afternoon cleaning that up and getting that sorted. Oh gosh, you can already smell the lavender. It is just intense at the moment in this thing, in this studio. All right, so that is our little bath salts. It's done, and that'll just sit in there. And I've got enough for tonight, so I'm going to have a bath tonight. So I've got some for tonight's bath, and then I've got this, and you can see it's sort of starting to take on a purple hue in the container. So in some cases it will go a little bit more purple because the salt is actually going to draw that moisture out and subsequently probably bring some of the colour into there as well. But when you open it up, it smells absolutely divine. As I said, these little jars, you can get them from Kmart as well. They are just called the fluted jar. This is a 700ml one. You can get them in all different sizes, and I got mine offline because you can't always find them in Kmart, but they are definitely online. So all you need for this is some Epsom salts, probably not as much as I use, but you know, it is what it is. You need some rock salt. You also need some essential oils, not necessary, I just like to add that in, and you need some lavender flowers, and that is how quick and easy it is to make your essential oil bath salts. Alright, so what else has happened this week? Not a great deal, but I did get some haul in. So remember I was talking to you about last week when I was doing the Fat Quarter Shop, the mystery designer block of the month. Well, mystery 2021 mystery designer block of the month is in, and that is the block. It is guest designer Joanna Figueroa. I think you say her name. So she is from Fig Tree and Co. You can find her at all the W's Fig Tree and Co. figtreeandcompany.com, and this is very similar to what we were doing last week with all the half square triangles and flying geese by the looks of it. But this is the #1 block. I'm not going to start this yet. So I am thinking that I'm probably going to wait until I get these other blocks done. So remember last week I was saying that I missed out on the backing set and all the rest of it for the 2018, is it 2018? Yeah, 2018 one. I missed out on the backing and the finishing set for that. So this one I actually have it. So this is the backing for it. So this is how it comes. Okay, it's got 5 1/4 yards of backing fabric, and it's also got a quilting label in it. Now I don't want to open this up, but you get the general idea of what it looks like. Not normally my colours, but I'm loving it. Like, just seeing these colours that have come with it is gorgeous. So I will open this one up to show you. But this came in, I'm so excited. And as I said, I paid for block 2 and the finishing set because the finishing set was delayed. So block 2 and the finishing set is on its way as well. So not too bad. So this is, what's the fabric called? I don't know. What's the fabric called? It doesn't say. Oh, strawberries and something. Let me just see if I can get that to move. I don't want to open it. That's a Ziploc bag. I can open it. There we go. So, pull that out. So it is Strawberries and Rhubarb, and I'm assuming it's from Fig Tree and Co. And, oh, that's so good. And that's the little label that come with it. Designer Mystery 2021 Block of the Month made by, and then I can just put my name into there. So, iron-on cotton label. Cool. See, this is why you get the finishing the finishing pack. So that's yeah, so there it is by Fig Tree and Co. So just underneath there you can see there, Strawberries and Rhubarb it's called. So this is the backing, and I've got the finishing kit coming, and that's got the label in it. So I'll stick that back in there, and I'll just put this away in a container, and then I'll have it all together. And then I'll probably do this over the next few Saturdays once I've got the other one finished, because I've only got, I think, about 9 blocks to go in the other one, so I might bust out a few during the week and get them done. But look how cute this fabric is. Like, it's absolutely gorgeous. This I love. I love this fabric. And these aren't normally my colours. So, and this is a tone on tone, so this pattern here is actually on the cream one. Not that you'll be able to see it on camera. Maybe if I get up a bit closer you can see it, but yeah. Okay, so they are the fabrics, and as you can see they're quite generous with the amounts of fabrics they've got. So you'll be able to see how much is actually left over from each one, and like I am doing with this, with the other one that I'm doing, I'm just going to make some cushions to go with it. So that will be nice and handy. So it was nice to get some haul, because I haven't been shopping of late. So it was nice to get some haul, and I'm super excited to get this started. Like, when I seen it, I really liked it, and I wasn't 100% sure, but I thought, you know what, it'll fit somewhere in the house. I haven't made my quilt for myself for so long. And it'd be nice because, as I said, I missed out on the finishing sets and the backing for the other one, and I thought it'd be nice to actually have this one here so I can actually finish it completely how it was supposed to be. So I'm really, really happy that that's come in, and I can't wait to get the rest of it. So yay for me, I got some haul this week. But that is pretty much it for me this week. I just thought I'd pop in and say hi. I'm getting ready to do some filming with Brendan and whatnot, help him out. He's finally got his Jag on the road and all the rest of it. So there's been a lot of other stuff going on. So not a lot of time for me to do crafting or anything like that. But I'm getting back into the swing of things. I'm slowly getting everything sorted out. I've got a few more boxes up there to go through. I've been cross-stitching every day, plus helping Brendan do some filming. Just not having me here for those couple of hours in the morning and in the afternoon, because I mean she was at school the rest of the time, and not here on the weekend is really making it a lot easier for me to fit everything and everybody else's stuff in as well. So I'm not burning myself out before anybody freaks out and says, you know, be careful not to burn yourself out. I'm not burning myself. I'm very mindful of that. I have a quilt in the quilting machine at the moment that I'm getting ready to quilt that up this week as well, and that's also got to have a binding on it, and I've had a couple more quilts come in this week as well, so I've got to get them done. So it's going to be super busy, so you'll probably spend some time with me doing some binding and some chit-chatting and all that sort of stuff. Don't forget, leave me any questions that you've got, leave them down in the comments, and the following week I will do my best to answer them. I hope that you've enjoyed spending some time with me here in the studio this afternoon. Not a great deal happening, just a quick and easy craft project. Hopefully you'll make some yourself. If you've got some lavender, let me know if you have any growing in your yard, and what other things that you make with your lavender. Alright, so that is it from me this week. Have a great weekend, or the rest of the weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday for our Stitch With Me. I'm not sure what I'm going to be working on this time, so you'll have to tune in to find out. And I'm off to spend some time with the family. Have a great afternoon, everybody, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye for now.